Hey everyone, welcome back to the Broke Coder. So today we'll be looking at how to make a tic-tac-toe project. Now, it's not as simple as it sounds. Like, why should I make a tic-tac-toe project? I can be learning very other high-level stuff, but doing such projects such as these would help you in lots of basic stuff, such as the need for things like modularization and keeping your code clean, which you only learn as you keep on practicing and through experience, through various different projects and everything else. So, without further ado, let's get started. So here what we have is the source code for the one I've already built. What we'll be making will be similar to this. So I'll just show you how it works. So if I go ahead and run this, this is what I see. Welcome to the game of tic-tac-toe, played by a machine. What would you like to be? Now, let's say I chose O. So it says you have chosen O. The computer gets the X. And I have not used any fancy stuff such as machine learning or AI in this. So this is just, let's just say, marginally smart guy. So what I need to do is just provide a number here. And if I see 3, that represents this part in the tic-tac-toe. I get my O over there and it chooses to play over here so that it can make 1. I'll try to stop it. I use 7 and it'll try to stop me by putting it in 5. Then I'll try to stop it and putting it in 6. So it's not entirely dumb so as to, oh shit, I just lost. Okay. It's not dumb. That's one thing. I wasn't paying attention. So yeah. I'm still smarter than the machine. Don't worry. So you've seen how this script can beat humans. Like, it's not easy to win against it. It'll either end up in a draw or it will win, as in this example, apparently. Well, Skynet, here we come. So let's get started. So before you actually start with the tic-tac-toe one, what you need to do is you need to proceed step by step. So let's make sure that from the get-go, we have what is called as keeping our code clean and efficient, or modularization, like how people say it. Those are technical terms. We don't need to worry about them now. So what's usually done is we keep things focused into different modules, paths, or methods. Like if you see through in my program, what I've made here is, this is not exactly a completely clean project, but it gets about as close as any, because I have a main function here, and then I have a reset function, and then I have a player turn, I have a computer turn, and various other things. So what that does is it helps me as a developer, so that when the project keeps on becoming bigger and bigger, I don't get like, what the hell is going on? Is this even my project anymore? I don't recognize anything in this. So to prevent that, what we do is from the get-go, we keep our project clean, compartmentalize everything into its rightful place so that not everything ends up all over the place. So let's start with this. Like if you've seen in most programs, this is a thing that many people use. Now, why we use this is because if I ever need to import this project into some of my other programs or other files, now this shouldn't automatically start running all of these scripts. I don't want this. I just want one specific function. Say I wanted the reset function from this program into my other program. So if I just import this file, Python would just start executing all of these functions one by one. I don't want all of these functions. All I want is this. To prevent that from happening, we include this line so that if you are the one being executing, only then execute stuff. Otherwise, don't do anything. So it's a good rule of thumb or habit or practice to include this in your projects. You can just write if name equals main and main. So let's define our main function. Let's just call it main and say print, hey there, this is the tic-tac-toe program. How about that? Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll call a program here. We'll call another method here, let's call that show board, and we'll pass in a board parameter. So let's go ahead and create the board first. Let's just declare a variable called board. Now, what we need to do is we need to have a two-dimensional array inside here. Now, if you don't know what a two-dimensional array is, I suggest you better get your Python skills and knowledge up a bit. You can go ahead and watch my Python tutorials or any others. And I'll leave a link at the top just so if you have to or need to refresh any of your Python knowledge. So let's just create an empty two-dimensional array here. That way we can use it whenever we need to make sure that our board is being handled properly. And what we need to do here is just say global board, so that whenever we are using the word board, we are referring to the one and original board. That's it. We're not creating any other variable here. Let's create our show board method. This will display our board to our user or the player, whoever they are. So what we first need to do is we need to print the board. So to access a two-dimensional array, we need two for loops. Exactly. So let's just say for I in range of, let's just say 3, because we're not going to change, at least for now. So j in range of 3. And then what we can say is, first of all, print the value, like whatever value it is, whatever value you have. So let's just say board of I and then board of j. And then what I can say is end equals nothing, because by default what Python does is after printing this, it'll take my cursor to the next line. I don't want to go to the next line. I want to continue printing the entire row first. So outside of this second for loop, what we need to do is say if hold on, am I outside of the for loop? Yes. So if I is not equal to 2, what you need to do is you need to print a bunch of dash, and you'll see how this dash is important in just a second. So let's say we have this, and let's try running it. Oh, okay, it's running the other one. Let's just stop this and run this script. And it says showboard takes 0 positional arguments, but 1 was given. Oh, okay. My bad. I never gave the board here as an argument. So let's run it again, and we see this. It's not bad so far. I mean, you see we are printing all of the values, and we are printing 2 horizontal rows, but they're supposed to go between those 2 zeros, and this one is supposed to go here. Instead, it's just coming on the same line. So what we need to do is, after we've printed all of these, all of one row, we need to go to the next line, because we are no longer going by default on the next line because of this, and we need that. So what we can do is just say an empty print statement. That way it just pushes our program to the next, and there we go. So now we have 0 row separator, 0 row separator, and then 0. Now what we need to do now is print vertical lines between all of these. So for that, let's just go into the inner for loop, and inside the inner for loop we can say that remember, you need to do this after the printing the value. If you do it before, then it'll get printed 3 times instead of 2, and you can play around to see what happens, but I'm not going to do that here. If j is not equal to 2, what you need to do is print this vertical line, or whatever ways of decoration you are using. I'm just using a basic CLI one here. And oh yeah, my bad. It is still going to a next line. So if we fix that, and if we run it now, what we have is, yay, we have an ugly looking tic-tac board here. At least it's something. So, but it's but if you remember, it's still not anything like what I had done previously. Now, why? Because I used a lot of pre-fired things and all. So, yeah, you know what? Let's do it here as well. So what you need to do is, for that, you need to take your board value and you need to, how do I put it? Wrap it inside of a variable. I mean, no, not necessarily a variable for now, but you'll need to provide empty spaces between this zero and this zero, this zero and this zero, all of them. So what you can also, actually this is better, if you just use center, I mean, hold on, center goes inside. So let's just go back and wrap this up in quotation marks, but now this won't actually show up as the number, it'll just print board ij. So for that, let's just use a formatted string, and then we can provide them inside curly braces. That way it still works for us. And here at the end of this, what you can say is center, and let's just give it a random number of 16 or 15, that depends totally on you. And now what you can see is, now this number is totally up to you. You can give anything you want, and they are farther apart, yes, but and a little too much. So you can play around with these values and try to increase these dashes so that it fits everything. And if I now run this, now it's starting to look like something can actually be done with this tic-tac board. Not bad for 12 minutes. God, I need to increase my speed teaching these things. All right, so let's end the video here so that we have wasted 12 minutes. I wouldn't say wasted, because you learned something, right? Exactly. Positive attitude. So for now, we'll stop here, and in the next one, we'll continue making more functionalities, such as adding a player. How do we access these values, change them, and compare different values and everything? So until then, keep coding, guys.